Hello, calm down dear, it's just me, Michael Winner, with another of my gory voyeuristic programmes about mysterious disappearances what have baffled Scotland Yard. Tonight we investigate the case of Gary Sparrow. Gary Sparrow was a 35-year-old man who owned a shop selling wartime memorabilia in Ezra Street in London's East End. His passion for all things wartime meant that he often dressed in 1940s fashions. In August 2000, he opened his shop, Blitz and Pieces, as normal, and was last seen around lunchtime. After that, however, he vanished from the face of the earth. Gary has never been seen since, alive or dead. Strangely, Gary Sparrow's wife never reported his disappearance, and a police investigation only began when Gary's father, George Sparrow, reported him missing. When the police investigation did begin, however, it caused a media sensation. Gary Sparrow's wife was none other than millionairess businesswoman and Labour peer Baroness Sparrow of Lambert. A journalistic frenzy began. The police investigation drew a blank. Even an item on the BBC TV's Crime Watch turned up no worthwhile new evidence. Desperate for results, detectives re-interviewed the two prime suspects, Gary Sparrow's wife, Baroness Sparrow, and Gary's one-time best friend, Ronald Wheatcroft. Baroness Sparrow was exactly the way I expected her to be. You have to be tough and single-minded to reach the very top in business, and Baroness Sparrow is tough and single-minded and a lot more on top of that. She gave no indication of knowing where her husband had gone or what had happened to him. I interviewed Ronald Wheatcroft about the disappearance of Gary Sparrow and found his attitude very unusual. Our investigation suggested that Wheatcroft and Mr. Sparrow were very close friends, and yet he spoke in a light-hearted and carefree manner about a person who we believed had been murdered. Very unusual attitude. After questioning, Baroness Lambert and Ronald Wheatcroft were released, but also placed under police surveillance. Within just a few days, that surveillance paid off when a telephone call revealed a new lead for the police, a woman called Phoebe. The name Phoebe seemed like a promising new lead, but it didn't bear up to investigation. We simply could not find any link between Gary Sparrow and anyone called Phoebe. Detectives only had one option now: to pick up Baroness Sparrow and Ronald Wheatcroft again and confront them for new evidence. Mr. Wheatcroft was his usual cheerful self when I spoke to him in the interview room. All Wheatcroft's joviality vanished when I mentioned Phoebe, as indeed did most of the colour from his face. I've never seen a suspect so affected by a question. I thought I was on the verge of a breakthrough in the investigation, but Wheatcroft was resolute. Baroness Sparrow would prove equally immovable, denying that Gary would leave her for any other woman. When I told Baroness Sparrow that I had heard her discussing Phoebe in a telephone call, she clammed up, and her brief told us she wouldn't answer any more questions. Once again, Baroness Sparrow and Ronald Wheatcroft were released, and once again they were placed under surveillance. After 2 weeks more surveillance, we decided that we would have to arrest Baroness Sparrow and Ronald Wheatcroft and charge them both with conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. We decided to do that first thing Monday morning. Little did we know what would happen before then. Little did they know indeed, for on Sunday morning the News of the World newspaper published an incredible story.